Hey everybody, welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie, and we are going to talk about legacy, dreaming, vision, whatever's on my heart. So there is a book we're going to start. We're going to start it in 1 week. So if you want to grab the book, I'll show you what it is. I'm all wrapped up because I'm really cold. So I am tuning in from Minnesota, and it is really cold in our house. Probably because I had a window open all night and I forgot. So we have a fireplace. I opened up a window and I have 2 sweatshirts, sweatpants, socks, and a blankie. I'm so cold. And it's fine. We found the window and shut it. All right. Where are you tuning in from? How is if you're tuning in live, Monday morning? And I hope that you got up today and one of your first thoughts was, I'm blessed with another Monday. I get to live today. That sounded kind of weird. I'm blessed with another day. I'm going to have a great week, right? I hope that you took a little bit of time this weekend and either planned your week out. I hope that you feel prepared to dominate your week. I hope that you have a positive attitude. I hope that you're looking today with a grateful heart. And if you're not, we can switch that. So say good morning. I'd love for you to say good morning below. If you're brand new, post a new below. And if you have questions, you can ask your questions below. Sometimes it goes too fast, so I can't read it, but I'll come back and send you a message. So here's what we're going to be doing in 1 week. I'm going to touch base on what this is about and just some thoughts that I've been thinking about this weekend. I would love to share with you. We are going to do this book called Dream It, Pin It, Live It. We are going to start next week. If you're watching live, it is November 14th, and it's going to take us into the new year. Just because there's so many different holidays and things coming up. So I would like to do this together. I would like to dream with you. I would like to help you realize that you have things inside of you that if you were to just sit and be quiet for a little bit, would you revisit the dreams you had in your past? Or the things you felt like you were called to do, or maybe the purpose that you felt like you were supposed to accomplish or achieve or something, and then you just let it sit, right? Put it on the shelf. Maybe forgot about it. And so I want to do this book with you. If you want to grab the book, go ahead and grab it, take a screenshot, or you can tune in here as we start going through it together. So there's a couple things I wanted to read to you today. Actually, I'm reading another book just on my own. I am always reading books on my own, so I don't go through every book on here. But I'm reading a book called Live Your Legacy. I'm determined to journal and really figure out what our family is called to in this stage of life. And so in the next 60 days, I've got different things I want to write down, things I want to accomplish with our daughters. If you're brand new, we have 4 girls. We are a homeschool family, and our girls are 15, 13, 11, and 9. And my husband just said, Stephanie, what do you want? What do you want? Or where is your heart? And I said, man, I love our business. I love our friends. I love a lot of things. I said, but if you were to say, what do I truly want? I want to help our children succeed, to be able to help them understand who they are before they leave our home, help them with their identity, and to be able to decipher truth from trash. It's interesting. This weekend, I also have 4 dogs, so if you hear them, I apologize. This weekend, I've been questioning a lot of stuff. And I think sometimes we think that questioning things or people is wrong. And I told my husband, I said, isn't it interesting how with social media, and then there's people that we put on a pedestal, and we think just because they say something, because maybe they have a blue check mark, they have lots of followers, they wrote a book, or maybe they're a pastor, maybe they're a motivational speaker. We almost forget that people that have a check mark, people that have lots of likes, people that seem or appear to be successful, that sometimes they might say things that are not true. So I've been questioning things, not in a bad way, but also going, all right, they said this, And it could be a speaker online. It could be a speaker in person. I listen to a lot of people. I like to listen to books, and whether it's in person or listening to things. And I just told my husband, I feel like also with our children, that if somebody seems successful, that you have to listen to everything they say, or that they're actually telling the truth. So I say all of that because I want you to know something. You know your giftings. And if you don't, ask somebody that's close to you and go, hey, could you tell me, like, what am I good at? What do you see my strengths are? Sometimes we can listen to people and watch their success. So like, for example, if I just go, you might watch me and go, well, she almost has 1 million people on here. Surely she knows how to do keto, right? I'm going to listen to everything she says. And I would say I can give you the guidelines of how to eat healthy. I've actually changed my viewpoint on keto and would help people understand the concept of low carb and understanding really truly the power of food. My viewpoint has switched in the 7 years. Still saying that like keto, low carb, getting out the processed sugar and junk, but I also don't know your body, right? So people can give you guidelines. They can give you like, here's what worked for me. But I also want you to really dig into like, what are you called to do? Sometimes people will give me all of the scenarios of their health. Here's what I'm experiencing. Here's what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? And I'm like, I can give you guidelines, but you have to listen to your body, right? As silly, I'm like, clearly you're eating a lot of dairy. That might not go well with you, but I have recipes that have dairy in them. Doesn't mean that it's going to fit you, right? I tell my daughters, just because that girl on social media has a blue check mark doesn't mean she's speaking truth. It doesn't mean that that fits with your life. It doesn't mean that you have to. I don't know if this is resonating with anybody. I just want you to know that it's okay to question things and then figure out what fits with your life or what is the truth. I am a believer. So my solid one guidance in general for our life is the Bible. And if somebody speaks something and I hear something, it's interesting. There are a lot of motivational, inspirational speakers that say things, and then I honestly recently have been going, I actually don't think that's true. I think it's a good saying. I think it makes people feel good. But that is not truth to me. That is not my truth. It is nowhere to be found in the Bible where I would look for truth. And so I just want you to know something. Good morning. Thank you for saying good morning. I want you to understand that you've got a gifting, you've got a calling, you've got a purpose. You just have to dig in and find it. If you have been running this life of maybe not choices that you've decided, maybe you've let other people make your decisions. My husband just read something. He said, isn't it interesting? I wish I had it with me. He was like, we let other people, he was reading out of a book, and he was like, how often we let other people make decisions for our lives. So I want you to make some decisions for yourself. I want you to figure out what your truth is, the people that you're listening to. I want you to know it's okay to question. I want you to know that you've got to figure out some things that work for you that might not work for others, right? So this book, I want to help you dream, and we're going to run into the new year going, all right, what am I called to do? Maybe I've been listening or watching other people with, I've gone down the rat race of negativity, or I've gone down comparison, or I've gone down that I'm not good enough, or I'm just gonna, like, it's too late for me, which it's not. All right. So anyways, I'm reading this book called Live Your Legacy, and the author is Sheila Craft, and I've gotten to meet her recently, and she's really incredible. And I read something this morning, and it said, determine what matters the most to you, and then live your life so that it aligns with what matters most, right? Determine what matters. This is the book that I'm reading. If you want to get it, it's great. It comes with, there's a couple things that I have not been doing that have been important to me. So it came with a sweet journal that I'm super excited about. So I'm going through this to help me figure out, on top of this one. I'm actually seeking out what our family's called to next. in this next season. So here's the book that I'm reading. You can take a screenshot. You can follow her on Instagram. She's super, super sweet. And I'm going to say it again. Determine what matters the most to you, then live your life so that it aligns with what matters to you. I had somebody ask me one time, they said, Stephanie, if you can picture your 80-year-old self right now, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your 80-year-old self to be? Who are you? What does your life look like? What are you doing? What are you able to do? Because if you can figure out in your mind what 80 looks like and appears to be like, then you reverse engineer what that is and you start today. So it could be like, what does my 80-year-old self look like in my health journey? I can either look like, okay, let me make sure I phrase this right. I can either be 80 years old in a chair and not being super active, or I've said no. I mean, I know our bodies age, but I want to be the healthiest 80-year-old version of me that I can be. I want to think clear. I want to be able to move. I want to see my grandkids. So if I want to be a healthy version of 80, what do I have to do today to get to 80 years old and be that version of me? I have to eat well, move my body. I need to start stretching more. I need to stay limber so that I can do those things when I'm 80, right? What about financially? I walked you guys through a book, if you followed along, called KetoMOM. And the book was written by Pastor Craig Groeschel. And he said there are different areas of your life. It's called like your spoke, like your wheel, your life, right? We talk about your physical life, my 80-year-old life when I'm 80. I'm going to live to 120, so I could say that, but I speak it all the time. My financial life, what do I want my finances to look like when I'm 80 or older? How about my relationships? One spoke would be your work life, but I'm not going to be working then. I'm going to be taking care of grandkids. And my spiritual life. If you think about those things and you really want to work on some dreams as we're working towards our older age, what do you want? So my 80-year-old self wants to be healthy. I want to be financially, I want to have the freedom to help my kids and their grandkids and to be able to travel if they choose to live in other parts of the world, right? Which means I need to be smart financially right now. We need to make wise investments. We need to spend less than we make, right? We need to be wise. Spiritually, I want to be a spiritual mentor to many people. I want to be wise beyond my years. I want to be able to give advice and for people to go, she's walked through this, I'm going to listen to her. If I want that, then I need to make sure I find the right spiritual mentors, and I need to learn and have time. I need to journal, to write stories down so I can help people when they're going through what they're going through because I've already done it. Relationships, right? What are the relationships I want to cultivate? So my 80-year-old self, I have a picture of, and in order for me to get there, I need to reverse engineer what my life looks like today, taking care of my health and my finances and my relationships and being wise, using my time wisely, being okay with saying no to things. Like my husband and I were just talking about a trip that's coming up here in the next 6 months that currently right now, we want to go. And then he was like, it might not align with what we are doing. It might be okay if we say no. There are things that you can say no to now so that you set yourself up for things in the future later. Anyways, this is the book. It's not the book. It is a book to help you start even just opening up your heart and your mind to go, what do I want? Let's start right now. So, she's going to talk about, we're going to walk through doing a vision board and just understanding truly how to get things from here to on paper so that you can see it. So I want to read something to you. She said, the images you visualize in your mind become your reality. I've talked about that here before. Who has heard me say, as I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. I've said things like, if you believe that you can't, you won't. If you believe that you can, you will. I didn't say when you will. I said you will. And the images you realize, the images you visualize in your mind become your reality. Have you guys ever heard of the phrase or that little acronym called RAZ? R-A-Z? Has anybody heard that? Is this making sense? Is this helping anybody? I might just be preaching to myself. RAZ. RAZ stands for your reticular activating system. So like, for example, when you buy a brand new car, you think you're the only person that has that car. And then as soon as you have something, you see everybody else that has it. Your RAZ was activated, right? Like something that you maybe didn't notice before, and then you wanted it, or you got it, or you had the awareness to it, and then all of a sudden everybody has it, or you see it everywhere, and you're like, well, I never saw that before. Your RAS, your reticular activating system was realized. That's how your mind works. If you start seeing the things you're believing for and speaking it out, right? So let me finish reading, it'll make sense. Your mind is like a magnet. Whatever you get in your mind and stays there, you will attract in your life. It's like the law works. This law works positively and negatively. If your mind is constantly thinking negative thoughts, you will attract negative consequences. If you're constantly thinking that you are worthless, you will attract people in your life who will treat you that way. If you constantly think poverty thoughts, you will attract a poverty lifestyle. The same thing goes. If your thoughts are positive, you will attract positive circumstances. If you're constantly expecting good things to happen, that's what you're going to look for, right? And so your thoughts are the pathways to your destiny. Your life today is a reflection of the dominating thoughts you've allowed to take up residence in your mind. Is this making sense? Your thoughts are powerful. As a man thinketh, so he becomes. A man becomes what he thinks about most of the time. In the Bible, Proverbs 23:7 says, whatever a man thinks in his heart, so he is. I know that you're here to lose weight. I know a lot of people want to get healthy. And we're going to work on that because that can be on your vision board. That can be something that you're dreaming for. You're going to write it down. You're going to pin it. And then we're going to take action and we're going to live it. We're going to go, my 80-year-old self needs to make sure that I don't fall and break a hip. I've seen some incredible people that we love, but they are also can't walk the greatest. Their health isn't amazing. So what do I have to do today to get healthy? If you're going to dream about your health, then you need to start going, what do I want when I'm 80? Excuse me. And how do I get there? Does this make sense? My 80-year-old self cannot be eating Debbie snacks every day today. That doesn't get me to what I want when I'm 80. My 80-year-old self would not be doing certain things today if I want to be able to move, to run up and down, to walk to the grocery store parked in the parking lot without being out of breath, to be able to pick up my grandkids. Your health is important. And if you're only thinking day to day, because in your mind you're like, I can eat the donut today, it's not a big deal because I'm not going to gain 20 pounds by tomorrow. You're right. You are right. Because you don't see the little negative things you do every single day in short spurts. You don't, like you eat the donut, you didn't gain 20 pounds. But you eat the donut every single day, and in 2 months, by January, you might gain 20 pounds. I'm not saying just by the one donut, but by the one action consistently that also gravitates and leads you to other actions. Does this make sense? So, y'all are amazing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited to go through this book. Whether you just follow along with me or you actually get the book and commit to doing it, I would encourage you to get the book. Commit to yourself. It's like $15. I don't even know. You can go to her website. I think it's just Terri. I know she has a site. I shared it on my, I actually shared it on my stories the other day, but I'll do it again. And then if you do want this book, I'm super excited. I'll just put some little links. I don't have a link the link is not affecting me. It's just for the authors. So you are more than welcome to grab the book, join me, tune in here, and please ask me questions. Send me a message. I'm here to help. We are going to go start school I'm a homeschool mom. We have things to do. Actually, first we're going to visit a friend in the hospital. One of our best friends, their son is in the hospital, and we're believing for a miracle for his heart. That's what we're believing for. So we're going to go visit our friend Carter today, and then we will dive into school. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Send me a message with any questions that you have. You can always go to KetoMomSecrets.com, and we have a whole section for the book club. We did this over a year ago. So you can start right now, or you can just revisit that. So you can go to KetoMomSecrets.com, click on book club, click on recipes, click on ketones, like whatever you're looking for. Go check it out. I hope you guys have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye.